Our opening song is from Stephen Cogswell. Get it at otfy.com. That's AWTFY.com/hotdog. And it's called the Hot Dog Rule Song.
You want to know what I love the most about it? The bass. It's the hot dog rule, is what I call it. Because if you're going to eat a hot dog with ketchup, mustard, and sauerkraut, if you got a mustache, you got to make sure that you can fully eat that hot dog with condiments without little mustache hairs dragging up on top. You're stealing from me! Stop stealing from me right now! You're robbing me of my riches! Yeah, that's it. No, there's no more. No more.
Wait, is it not real?
It's not real.
Totally thought it was real.
Grab that bass and you just go like...
God.
God damn it. Yeah.
The beat. I love it. That's right. I love it. Let me get polite applause. Fuck you, you're not my dad. The Bible doesn't prohibit me from loving my beats. I do what I want between the sheets.
I'm so scared. I guess I'll listen to Night Attack. Oops, I didn't download that before I left. Friends, family, fingers, and fun. That's my time, y'all. Never doing this shit again.
Honk, honk.
Oh, hot damn! Hello, you beautiful bastards, you demon hordes of the internet. We gather again because it is Tuesday night, live here at Austin City Limits, deep in the heart of the 7-acre Schwood from Diamond Club Studios. It's Night Attack. I'm Brian Brushwood. Joining you as always is my BFF in OAK, Mr. JRY, Justin Robert Young. What was the hot dog rule again? There was a rule we had about hot dogs, right?
No, this is my rule about mustaches. So if you have a mustache, you have to trim it so it doesn't hang too far below your upper lip.
Oh, so that you could safely eat a hot dog.
Safely eat a hot dog with as many condiments on top as you'd like, and it doesn't just drag over top of them.
Now, I don't want to falsely indicate that we have achieved beard parity, but I would like to say that I'm getting close. Can we start calling it an us-stache? Because, you know, we have them and other people don't. I don't want to divide. Look, in this harsh environment, I don't want to make it an us versus them culture. But, I mean, it does seem like it's our facial hair.
Yeah, no, I'm down with it. I think you actually have a more manly mustache than I do, because when I got my hair and beard trimmed not too long ago, the barber, he ever had this thing where all of a sudden the barber, I don't think I've had this happen since I was a kid. The barber's like cleaning up my stash area.
Yeah.
And then he fucks up and shaves into it and goes, "Oh, you moved."
Oh, yeah, no, that's bullshit. Or I had one, I remember, even as a kid, I'm still pissed off about this. Dude, I was like, ow, it nipped my ear. And he goes, no, I didn't. And then it's like, when I caught that motherfucking drip of blood later on, I was like, Mom, Bonnie was my mom back then. I was like, look, you got him.
Twitch clip that one for fucking Freud's sake.
Well, put that on Freud Watch podcast. Have you ever had your nose hairs ripped out of your face?
Yes.
I have only been invited to do it once, and I did it, and I loved it, and I made the firm decision that I would always say yes when it was offered again, and nobody's ever offered it again. And I don't. Wait a minute. I can handle.
Whoa! Hold on. Nose hairs ripped out of your face by a barber?
Yeah. So okay,
like
so,
not trimmed, because I've definitely had the little attachment and then they cut it.
Nope.
They use the razor thing. But you're saying that they like take a tweezer and rip them out?
No. Okay, so what they do is they take this like a little stick, a little Q-tip thing, and they rub it in what looks like road tar, you know, and then they stick it in, and then you just leave 2 sticks sticking out of your nose, and while
Wait, hold on. Whoa. And you loved it?
I mean, I think I loved everything about it. I think I loved everything from the fear as it went in to the novelty and the ridiculousness of having sticks out of my nose to how easy it was. The dude just yanks it, and it's like you would expect it to hurt, and it was just like, But instead, and I think I deeply loved staring at the world's worst fuzzy Q-tips made of my own nose hair, looking like Charlie Brown's hairs coming out of his balding skull.
Brian.
So,
my God.
This is, after 10 plus years of us broadcasting together, the most disturbing shit I have ever heard come out of your mouth.
so and then you take like it's this evil Q-tip, and then like you run your finger over it, and it's like
Wait, you played with it after they
yes.
pulled it
How
out?
often do you get one of these?
How do they not throw that away
I didn't know it
immediately?
existed. Are you kidding me? I didn't know that anybody did it. I didn't know that you liked it. I didn't know that you would play with it. At this point, we are so beyond the scope of my understanding that you could have said that like it was the most inspirational moment of your life. And every day you think of that one moment where you made a comb over of your own your own nose hair.
I didn't even get to the part where I got to talk about how nice it felt to breathe freely. And then also, like, at that point, I made the deep decision. I was like, I'm going to do this every chance it's offered. And now I'm in the weird middle ground because it's like somebody gave me China White heroin. And now it's like, well, I think I have a taste for heroin. But it's like, I'm not the kind of guy that goes around asking for, look, I see the places where they do these procedures, and those are not the type of places I want to go and get my beard trimmed.
Where did you, where and when did this happen? If we're going to
This
put a
was
year on
at an upscale gentleman's barber shop where they do beard trims and haircuts that Bonnie introduced me to, the kind of place that after that they're classy enough that when you come in and ask for a beard trim, they do the classiest thing on the planet. Anyone who doesn't do this, who trims beards, shame on you. The first thing they do is they lean you back and they cover your eyes, taking away that awkward question of, do I stare at them or have a conversation or what? It's like, no, you are trapped in here for the duration of this procedure. It's great. And then they give you a massage with the, one of those vibrating things. And then you just feel like $1 million. Plus they give you a free beer when you walk in, and then you never finish the beer, and it's awkward because it's half a beer. Do I get rid of it? And then you keep it underneath the smock the entire time, and then you're like, hold on, let me take another. You're like, and then you just end up throwing it away when it's room temperature at the end of it anyway.
That's fine.
It's a classy place. That's what I'm trying to say.
How long ago?
It was 6 months.
Oh my! This is like recently.
Yes.
What? Wait, hold on. Whoa! How many haircuts have you had since then that you were like, oh my God, if only I got the fucking nose hair ripped out again?
So here's the thing, is different locations. And that one place was the only place where the dude offered it. And I'm like, I will always say yes, but I can't bring myself to ask. I mean, how do you let me get a trim and a little off the top. And also, would you take some black goo, shove it up my nose, let it harden, and then rip out follicles?
It's called a nose wax. You say, and the nose wax. Try it.
But okay,
Give me the nose wax.
It'll be so embarrassing if they don't even offer that. Here's
the
then all of a
sad
sudden,
thing.
I'm somebody ordering off the menu.
Go to the place.
It's me saying I would like the nose wax, and them saying, "Sir, this is a Taco Bell." I don't want to embarrass myself and look like a nose wax fiend.
Even if you go back to the exact same location.
I mean, because he was that one dude. The dude seemed cool.
No,
They
they
still got the
all
stuff.
offer it.
Yeah.
Do
and-
they?
They all do. Yeah.
Or
Also-
check out their website. That's the only thing salon websites are for, is telling you what things they will and will not wax.
All right, let me hold on.
Oh my God, he's doing it. He can't wait. Also, by the way, guys, for you
halfway through the show.
for you audio listeners, I'm looking at Brian's nose hairs.
It's time.
No, you can't eat. That's why you haven't been offered. They're still gone. They ripped them out. There are no nose hairs. Like maybe when they grow back in, then you get the pleasure of getting them ripped out.
there is the possibility, Brian, that you will never get that experience again. You were living your whole life literally for that moment.
Don't you do this to me.
I
don't,
think,
because there was bliss and tranquility in that. For one goddamn moment, all was right in the world.
I have a question. You have your beer in one hand, and then they hand you the Q-tips? Like, that doesn't immediately go to... How does that transaction happen? They're like, they rip them out, and then they hand you... And they're like, here, transfer your beer into the other hand.
It wasn't
and
so
grab
much them
them. And so
handing it
now
to
you're
me.
like...
It was him essentially saying, like, told you, bro, and holding it in front of my face. And then my lightning fast hands be like, what? Let me see that.
Oh,
and then
my gosh.
It wasn't so much them handing the Q-tips, Bonnie, but as much as it was Brian stepping on the barber's foot, and as he comically threw them in the air, saying yoink as he snatched them on the descent.
$10 for ear, nose, or brow waxing. $18 for all 3 areas. I don't know how I feel. I always worry about the eyebrow waxing. That one always freaks me out. Like, even if they take a comb and then start trimming over it, I'm just like, am I all right with this? I don't know.
You don't happen to have eyebrows.
I have to do that because I get some real overactive eyebrow hairs that start going wild. Whenever I get my hair or beard trim, I'm like, no, go ahead and file those fuckers down real quick.
but the nice thing is that you have like a built-in alarm system where the moment somebody like a waiter asks, I'm sorry, sir, is there a question? And you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, well, you're just giving me this quizzical look. And you're like, oh, it's time. I've got to.
Yeah. It's like, oh, sir, I thought everything was okay, but now it looks like a spider was surprised in your left brow.
Have you seen these videos of, I discovered the subreddit, kids are fucking stupid?
No.
It's fucking amazing. It's all parents, and I'm sure it's all done with a loving heart. But it's a way to post, wacky stuff that kids do. But the one that slayed me is, I guess there's an app that you can look at yourself. You're seeing a video feed of yourself, but then a 3D rendered spider starts to crawl over your face. Oh. And there's all these videos. It's the hot new jam for parents to say, like, oh, there's a bug on your face, a bug on your face. And then kids beat the shit out of themselves. It's amazing.
It's really awful.
Highly recommended.
Brian, I got a story to tell everybody.
Does it have a happy ending?
We will find out. But I will say to you, dear listener, right now, unknown whether or not this one has a happy ending. It was gonna have a happy ending. Let's start here. We did the live show.
Let's start here. I'm doing a live TV appearance in Indonesia. It's a callback to the happy ending, the jerk off story.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Happy ending. Yeah.
Happy
Where
ending.
did Jesus show up?
Sorry. Go ahead.
All right. So we did the live show in Austin, and it went really, really well. It was, against all odds, a financial success, which is nice. But we had the ability to fly people out. It was just awesome, right? So immediately I'm like, okay, we're gonna do 2 more this year. This wasn't even the Out of Bounds Fest. This was the South by show, the show that we booked.
The North Door, yeah.
North Door, right? So I'm like, we're gonna do 2 more of these this year. I want to do one in LA. I want to do one in New York. The LA one fell through for reasons that were beyond our control, but I was like, I know exactly where we want to play for New York. Flashback a little bit further. I've talked about this a few times, but I was in a sketch comedy group that I wound up getting kicked out of, and I got kicked out of this comedy group after we had just secured a month-long run at one of the best sketch comedy theaters in the city, the People's Improv Theater, the Pit. I was in the group when we got the gig. I got kicked out of the group on the first rehearsal. They went and did the gig without me. It's certainly not something that, as a 36-year-old man, I'm still bitter about.
It's certainly not the kind of thing that you would hold on to this bitterment, despite the fact that you've had 2 #1 Billboard comedy albums.
look, there are some wounds that I've come to understand just will not heal. They are just always going to be there, and I can learn to live with them. I can learn to be okay with them, or I can learn to motivate myself with them. And that's what I felt. You want to know what? It actually kind of works. If you look at the how many seats that are there, it's the kind of venue that we'd be looking for no matter what. When I looked at other podcasts around like kind of our size, people have played there before, it would be perfect. So I pick a weekend. I don't even know if I should say what our VIP thing was going to be because it's fucking awesome. I don't even know if you remember it, Brian. Do you remember?
I do not. I'm hearing all this for essentially the first time.
Yes. The idea would be that, and so I'm looking for a weekend because once a month, Billy Joel plays Madison Square Garden.
Oh.
He basically does it like he plays it like he'd be playing in Vegas, like a residency.
Oh, that's right. We did talk about this.
Once every month he plays there. So I'm like, oh shit. We do a VIP thing Friday where we just get decent tickets, and then, there's whatever on top of it, where we do like, maybe a little show at like a restaurant back at a back room of a restaurant. Then we all go to Billy Joel. Saturday we have a big show at the Pit. And this is like my big fuck it. I'm finally doing a show at the Pit after I did that audition so many years ago. So I emailed them. They're like, oh, when are you looking for? And I'm like, this time. And then I don't hear back. Month goes by. I hit him up again.
And by the way, these are unrelated to your unpleasant situation with the former sketch comedy group, because I assume they're not even still a group, right?
Oh, no.
Look at that! Oh my gosh!
Little too much natural joy came out just then. That was a little bit.
Gosh, if you could see the feral look that just flitted across his face. And
I never knew a jackal could have a twinkle in his eye.
Oh, yeah. Oh, funny how you go and you get your big break and then you leave somebody behind. Next thing you know, the show's not the same. People are wondering whatever happened to the guy that was in the band before. Maybe he was a pivotal part of the group. I don't know. Back to one. All right. So no, yeah, they were, this has nothing to do with that, aside from the idea that I do just have a very visceral, petty desire to play the Pit.
And I think it is healthy enough to understand that there's a poetic completeness to the idea that you would go back to something you were denied, and having gone into the woods and done the hard work of forging an 11-year friendship and showing up every week, that we, would be entitled to walk back as kings and conquerors to territory that was denied you.
Like, to be honest, part of what we are doing now, part of where we are with the show now, is that we are confident enough comedically that we want to put some resume shit down. Like,
Yes.
In comedy festivals, and playing a venue like the Pit is what, like, every big comedian kind of does. I actually had a great time at Politicon telling stories about playing the Pit with Andrew Heaton, because Andrew Heaton is super familiar with it. So anyway, I emailed them. They don't email back. I ping them again. Nothing. Life goes on. Blah, blah, blah. We're not going to do anything live.
At this point, you're figuring what? Like, well, maybe someday I'll touch a magic rock and turn me into a superhero. I'll get you yet, the Pit.
I guess so. I mean, I guess it just was easier to just let it go, right? There was plenty of shit that was going on. At that point, we were already into the big travel schedule no matter what. We got into the other Austin Comedy Festival, so we were doing another live show. So it just kind of fell to the wayside. And to be totally honest, part of it was like, I guess the Pit just isn't to be, right? I guess it was just one of those things that, it is what it is.
Their reluctance to respond outweigh your ambition to conquer that turf, right? So at that point, you're like, you know what? There's plenty of other fertile lands that we shall raise.
Exactly. And it's also like, I was at a point where when I had momentum, because again, nobody's booking this shit but me, right? Like, this is like a one-man operation of, I'm finding it, I'm figuring out what the tickets are going to be, I'm finding out what we're renting it for, I'm figuring out the VIP stuff, I'm trying to get like everything together. So if it's not in that momentum window, then the likelihood of me making it like a little side hustle is just much less likely. I'm going to find other shit that we can focus on, including for this show.
Sure.
So
wait, the point of the whole story is you did a thing a few months ago and it didn't happen?
I'm having lunch yesterday.
that was a smooth tee up, right? Yeah, I just
having lunch, and I get an email from the Pit. The Pit says, "Hey, I reserved this slot for you. I wanted to know, but I forgot to email you back and follow up with you that you guys are booked for, as of now, are booked for the Pit next weekend."
What?
Like this is a thing that was there. Are you still going to do it?
Are you still planning to show up to the booking that I definitely gave you, but forgot to tell you that you were given?
Yeah. So I think at that point, he still probably assumes that we're local or at least regional to the Northeast. And, there's plenty of podcasts that are like that. It doesn't require putting together travel itineraries for 3 people, figuring out what guests we're going to book, getting the word out for a VIP thing, buying tickets for the VIP thing. There's just a lot that goes into it. So I have to do something that I never thought I would do in my life and tell the Pit, "No, sir, sorry, we will not be there for our scheduled appearance on your docket." The Night Attack will not be at the Pit in 2 weeks, but hopefully next year. The happy ending is he's very apologetic, and next year we're coming to New York and we're doing a show at the Pit.
I mean, that's the big thing is it sounds like they acknowledge that the whoopsie doodle was on their side, and it wasn't that we were asked to do a thing and then didn't do a thing. Man, I do have an inverse of that story. Back at the height of me touring, when money was like every single gig really mattered, $800 for the show, it's all the money on the planet. There was a time that I showed up to a gig and they very clearly said, "Oh, we thought we told you that, no, we're not doing that gig and you're not booked for it." And then and essentially we basically had like a showdown where I'm just like, "You signed a piece of paper." They're like, "Yeah, but we're not going to pay you. We're not going to do a thing." And it was like, "But the event's happening, right?" He's like, "Well, yeah." And then it's essentially it was a version of being like, "I'm going to show up and I'm going to eat fire and they're all going to clap and then you're going to write me a check."
That's like that neighbor we had that like mowed the yard because he was like a crack addict or something. And
dude had drug debts. And so he said, "Hey, I'll mow your lawn for $20. And we're like, "That's fine. It's not a very good lawn. We don't want it. Bye." And then knock on the door. "Hey, I mowed your lawn." We're like, "I'm not sure why you did that."
Yeah.
And then it's like, "Give me $20. And then he smashed like pottery and stuff. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was intense.
Yeah,
Wait,
when you call the cops out to
the venue, right?
when you call the cops out to investigate a smashed bit of pottery, it's a very short investigation in which they say, "Do you have videotape of him smashing the pottery?" "Sorry, there's nothing we could do."
Yeah. Sorry, dog. You're just gonna have a smash pot.
But we are scheduling something coming up in the future then?
Yes. We will do something in the future. We will be in New York. We will be in New York in 2020. Just know, everybody in New York, we were so close. Everything, as it turned out, had fallen into place. I just didn't know it had fallen into place until literally yesterday, which is too short of a time for us to actually put stuff together. So we will do New York. Night Attack will be in New York in 2020. That is a promise, and we are gonna play the Pit. That is the idea. You will have all the information as it develops. But God, Brian, it felt like I was so close, It was there. It had been there the whole time.
Yeah.
We could have been days away from going to see Billy Joel with everybody.
This is like that experience of you're finishing a video game level and you get all the way to the end and all you have to do is walk across the finish line, but instead your thumb slips and you dive right into the lava, and there's part of you that's super pissed because you don't have to do it again. But the other part of you, the bigger part of your brain is like, now I know it can be done and I have it in me to do this. And that is where we are right now. We're gonna do it. We're gonna hang out with Billy Joel. We're gonna say we give exceptional foot rubs. He's gonna say I've never asked a comedy duo to give me a foot rub, but we're gonna do it. And then as we're doing like the fourth toe in, we'll say we had a bit about your songs, and he'll say oh you did, and you're like yeah, we made them all about pornographic things. He's like oh well I mean. If you don't mind, I'd kind of like to hear it. And then we'll sing for him all the hilarious pornographic parodies we made up.
And then he just catty corner turns a little bit and starts playing the songs on the piano himself as we go line by line in our pornographic. Oh man!
Well, and there'll be this
He's
moment.
We get to Milk Leg.
There'll be this moment. That he says, I'm having a lot of fun, boys. The only thing I wish is that all your fans were able to enjoy this moment with us. And then Bonnie will be there and she'll say, I could turn on my phone and we could stream this live at twitch.tv/Night Attack, or at least let the patrons know. And breathing a sigh of relief, Billy Joel will turn to Bonnie and say, I'd like that a lot.
Wow.
Wow. And just then, and then the volume will rise on his piano. False wall breaks out. Everyone's there. All of Diamond Club waiting. And we're all going to be there together. Brian, I believe it. I believe in miracles as much as I believe in patreon.com/Night Attack.
Yeah. So I think
you can support this show.
I think this needs to be a song about toes as you guys go through.
Yes. And if you like bits that are clearly ripped off from the plot of Big Fish, then you can support it by heading on over to patreon.com/Night Attack, where if you are one of our new pledgers or you up your pledge, we say up your love. It didn't land. With the little thing we like to call...
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Night Attack new Patreon name chant corner hour.
It's an hour of... man, I ain't never done this before, but
yeah,
we're going to do the name first, and then we're going to ask the question because the name's a good name, but there's a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much for your new pledge, new friend, new patron, new boss.
Yep.
Fancy P.
Fancy P.
Fancy P. Now, can we spend the rest of the show talking about what would the fanciest P look like?
Oh, Japanese
toilet. Through your legs, right?
Through your legs?
Like you're kind of like catty corner, but you're like bending it over so you got your knee up.
I for the audio listeners, man, oh man, do you wish you were seeing these 2/3 totally exposed man legs about to get demonetized here on Twitch?
I'm just saying, fucking those are pornographic casts. Those are great casts.
That's going straight up at reddit.com/r/D's knees.
D's knees, yeah, no, D's knees has got a new trender.
What would it be fancier? Hold on, which is fancier, Justin's Fancy P or the simple cross-legged, right where you are, just going in your pants with an arched eyebrow?
No. Oh my God, you guys! I can't
sorry.
believe it's happening. Oh jeez, there's a puddle. Oh,
I'm having a fancy pee.
What if you did trick shots and you like lit a candle and you like had and not a drop spilled, right? But you have to shoot the stream through the flame and put it out.
Oh no. Okay, here I got one. So trailer park pees be like this. Now imagine I have my dick in my hand and I'm peeing and I'm just going stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, and then go like a sprinkler, right? And then I say fancy peas be like this, and then I gesture, and then curtains open from a facade there, and there are 35 majestically coiffed gentlemen and ladies, mostly gentlemen, and they do a version of that Disney thing where the pea is like dancing from dancer to dancer, going around. Everyone's like holding it, and that would be the fanciest pea.
No,
Wait, I got one more. So you're peeing, but it's like ... dash ... dash, right? So you're doing Morse code. Next thing you know, maybe a lady friend you want to impress is outside the bathroom listening to your Morse code stream, and she starts crying. Why? Because you've just Morse code pissed Pride and Prejudice.
And also that crying, not coming from her eyes. That's the total sploosh happening because she's ready to bone due to that fancy pee.
Exactly, because you just Mr. Darcy'd your way through
so
Morse
romantic.
code.
I think the fancy pee actually indulges on the sensory experience of peeing. And so, one, it's a crafted meals leading up to the pee so that you have like perfect smelling pee.
You got to eat the right amount of cheese and asparagus.
Yeah, and just, well, maybe not asparagus.
Fancy in, fancy out, right?
Fancy in, fancy out. And then like the collection, so like the color
FIFO.
quality is that you're peeing in a clear toilet so you can appreciate the color quality of your urine. And it's actually about the quality of the urine itself and not about all the things around it. So that's like a 3-day process.
Sticking with my dance and pee train.
Yeah,
I think there's
you win.
something there.
You win.
Yeah, they're all dressed like aristocrats.
There's only one person who can tell for sure, and that is Fancy P. And thank you so much, Fancy P, for being our newest patron right here on the program.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, right now there's only one person we love even more than Fancy P, and that is, of course, the current Bit Boss.
The Bit Boss.
Oh, hell yeah, Brian, our current Bit Boss. Oh, wow. Wow, it is wide open today. J.C. Calhoun. It is up for grabs, folks. If you want to be the Bit Boss by the end of the show, go ahead and get your bets in. But that would mean that you'd have to be watching live at twitch.tv/Night Attack, where we go live at 9 p.m.
Tuesday
Eastern
nights.
Time, 6 on the West Coast. But we go ahead and tell a little story that definitely isn't filled with people who are subscribing and giving us bits, right, Brad?
Yeah, starting with Wanyam, who's our only real fan that we've ever had. Thank you very much, Wanyam. I was talking to Benito Boom Crash the other day, and he was having a real poop tempest, right? He was getting all freaked out.
Well, here's the problem with that is when you're in a situation like that, you really got to think of the mechaholic ramifications of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're really not gonna have a good time.
I mean, look, you start off having some social mechs. Next thing you know, you're jamming Crisco 782 or 762 where the sun don't shine. And all of a sudden, Teen Lane Labs let you know that you have a social disease.
Well, I mean, it's social because everyone wants to be around you, just like the real booty hole. Stalin.
Oh, I thought you meant my butthole. Or at least that's what Insnetco told me.
Same thing.
Hey-o! Thank you very much, Kelly138.
Kelly138.
Oh, new Bit Boss, right on.
Exactly.
Oh, hey, man, we've covered all the hard-hitting topics, the stuff that 2020 is too afraid to talk about. That's right, Elizabeth Vargas and John Stossel, who I assume both have moved on to other careers. We called you out. We talk about the real stuff, like Fancy P. And today's game.
Yes. Oh, hi. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, hi.
I too was startled by how smooth I teed that up.
I
I understand why
I was
you
in
for a
shock.
loop.
I was like, I can't. Oh, you did it! He did it. He did it. Hi, everybody. We got a game from Mad Scientist Kel, who sent in this email. I hardly ever watch live here in Australia because the show is on Wednesday morning, and there's no way I'm going to watch it at work. I watched the show since NSFW days, but as a high school bio teacher, it's not exactly work appropriate, even if I had the free time. But that brings me to this game. I got the idea ages ago when someone else sent in a game about gene names as a game, but this is a version on weird species.
Before we go into the game, let me just say there's a very reasonable way for an Australian to see the show live, and that's for you to hop on a plane, fly halfway around the planet, and join us live in studio, the way Graham Whitaker's doing right now.
Sure, we do have a studio
right here, live. Yeah. I don't think it's that hard.
Wait, who was the guy who wrote this?
This is Mad Scientist Kel. Thank you, Mad Scientist Kel, for
Mad Scientist Kel, and Graham's in the studio.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
Graham from Australia.
Scoop Gray.
Gray.
Graham, can you please come to the mic and call Mad Scientist Kel the C word?
He's not standing up. Oh, wait, he's standing up. There we go.
Almost. That guy is so close to one whole episode with it. But again,
She's just a magnificent cunt.
Okay,
There we go.
That's good. That's good.
That was a nice one. Thank you. Thank you, Gray.
Magnificent. Yeah.
He goes. That's how we say it.
Yeah.
So
It's just how they talk.
that's right. So Brian, Justin, and Bonnie, if you'd like to play, I am going to give you the name of a beast that Mad Scientist Kel has found, with a little bit of information, and you're going to tell me if it is nature or not sure.
Nature or not sure. That's pretty good.
And
That's
that's the
cute.
name of the
I like it.
So let's go to our first. So we've got an example one. We'll do an example one here. This is here we go. The drop bear. The drop bear. That's right.
DROP bear.
Right. So this is related to the koala. This is the famous threat in the Australian bush. Ask any Aussie, and they can tell you the dark history of our early settlers who were attacked by these ferocious beasts in the dark. So this is an example. So Brian,
I'm going to say no go. Like that. That is like that's somebody who's Australian writing pornography of what they assume Americans want Australian nature pornography to sound like. That's like me describing married life to an 18-year-old like, oh yeah, and then she always is inviting her friends over and be like, we want 8 of you to serve you drugs.
What?
Okay, sure. Justin, can you describe the picture of the drop bear that we're seeing? So, Brian, you said not sure or nature?
What would be a very cuddly koala, except, oh my God, the fangs on this thing, just ferocious. It could tear through your jugular in a second, this goddamn bear.
Mm-hmm.
This is also fake. It's famously a thing that Australians tell tourists exists. Like it is among the canonical fake animals in Australia. The drop bear is the most famous.
Is that like a jackalope here in Texas?
Yeah, or a snipe hunt.
Yeah.
They would always talk about like we Cub Scouts and we're like, we're gonna go snipe hunting, and then you send the kids out and then they get lost.
It's just how they talk.
That's right. That's right. And you would have been correct. It is fake. So there we go. So that's how the game's played. Everybody get how we're doing this thing?
Yeah, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
Not sure.
That's right. Let's do our first nature or not sure with the scorpion fly. The scorpion fly. While the idea of a flying scorpion might make you want to barricade yourself into the house surrounded by several pallets of fly spray, fear not. While this fly looks like it will sting you with its scorpion tail, the tail is in fact the male genitals. Brian, we'll start with you.
I think it's
Scorpion
100% real, but is fly spray? That's not a hyperlink, is it? Is that a thing?
No, that is a Google misspelling
Okay,
because
got it,
I
got
don't
it.
think we call it that.
Yeah, no, that's got to be real, man. Because only Australia would have would have a fly with a dick hanging out his butt like that.
All right, so Brian is saying nature. All right, Justin, scorpion fly,
And
nature or
also-
not sure?
If I can describe this fly's dick for a second, like
do.
it has the scorpion tail, but it doesn't. It almost looks like the amber that the mosquito from Jurassic Park is in at the very beginning, like a smoothed out version of
It's got a
that.
big old bulbous head on the end of that. Also, rather conveniently angled. Like, I'm just surprised this thing could ever procreate because it seems like it could take care of itself, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it looks like it's poking itself right in the lower back, which is where you really want to put a dick.
Well,
Hey, that's where his tattoo of a bullseye is.
Exactly. And he's like, oh, just accuracy. I'm going to say that it is real.
I'm going to say nature. All right, this is not real or
Nature.
fake. Real or fake is a different
Hey,
trade.
you know what?
No.
And we don't have it, but if he was here, I would say it's nature. It's neat.
Oh,
That's
it
neat.
is. Okay.
I like
Neat.
that he has a dick aimed at his own butt.
Yeah.
Bonnie, what do you say? Nature? No, not nature. Do you say
I'm gonna
nature
say-
or not sure?
nature also.
You're also going to say nature?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You all said nature, and you all are correct.
Yeah!
Correct. All right. That's 1 point for everybody.
This is a fly with a dick pointed at its own butt. You can tell that's what it is because of the way it is.
That's right.
I like
and-
to think that his dick is pointing at his own back like he's like trying to rob a bank. He's just like, hey, come on, get me into the safe deposit boxes. And he's like, me.
neat.
Too neat.
All right, here's another nature or not sure. The Dementor wasp. This terrifyingly named wasp is a parasitoid who preys on cockroaches. A wasp will sting the head of a cockroach, releasing a toxin that goes to the neural nodes. This causes all conscious control of movement to be lost, effectively making it a zombie, which runs into the nest. This lets the wasp lay its eggs inside the cockroach, where it will be a living incubator, where the larvae will eat non-vital organs first to ensure their home stays alive and fresh for as long as possible. Justin, we're going to start with you on nature or not sure. You got a picture here.
I think that there are elements of this that are real, but I do not believe that this is the being that does it. I'm gonna go not sure, Bryce.
Yeah, so-
You want to know what? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Bonnie?
I'm 100% on the same page, Justin, and I'll explain why. But Bonnie, you go
It's
first.
Bonnie's turn. Bonnie.
Yeah, I feel like this is reminiscent of other creatures that do exist, but not the one. So I'm going to say not sure.
You made
say
one
not sure?
fatal mistake in this web of lies that are half truths. You made the cockroach the victim. And we all
Yeah.
know cockroaches are immortal. They are uncorruptible. There's nothing that
They
could
are
affect
corruption.
a cockroach.
When they are corruption.
Yes, they're very corrupt.
And so your answer
I know.
is
Have you checked their books lately? Not paying their taxes, kicking back to the mayor, corrupt cockroach.
financial. I thought you were thinking morally corrupt. That would have been
Yeah,
kind
that
of harder
too,
to
man.
running out on their kids.
Also abrupt and corrupt.
Abrupt, corrupt.
Like the moment you turn on the lights, they're like, this conversation is over, and off they go.
Exactly.
So
Give me a bribe. Give me a bribe. Give me a bribe right now. Give it to me.
Ah, man, do you have to be so abrupt and corrupt? What's going on? This guy.
Now we're just writing fucking Geico commercials. Corrupt and corrupt? That's crazy. Not as crazy as Geico.
They're even more crazy. They're
We're
literally
insane.
run by a super intelligent cockroach. It's me, Ed Cockroach. I guess you didn't know that we did long form funny commercials as well. Well, here's our new writing staff. It's a new age at Geico.
it's just an empty room that he shows up.
Yeah.
So Brian, can you confirm
They're
your answer?
invisible.
Yeah, no, this is not real.
You're gonna say not sure. All right. And the chat room disagreed. 75.5% say it is nature. Turns out the correct answer is real. That's a point to the chat room.
Fuck you! Really? It's called the Dementor? I actually didn't go with it because it was like a Harry Potter thing, and I'm like, what kind of fucking read
Yeah.
another book, people?
I felt like the cockroach is so like slight on nutrition that it would have needed a meteor or something. So
Well, I'm glad that this happened this way because it's as good a segue as any. This episode of Night Attack brought to you by Geico, who's trying to increase awareness of cockroaches. They have real problems too, people.
Yeah.
Not as
Geico.
much as the problems that will be fixed if you save 15% or more with a simple call in 15 minutes. Something
Yeah.
Roaches, we have problems too. Anyway.
Yeah. Give us money before Elizabeth Warren bans us, too.
All right, let's do another nature or not sure. How about the pig-nosed rat with vampire teeth? with the scientific name of Hieronymus stumke. This beastie has a face only its mother could love. Well, unless those teeth come in early in development. The only characterized in 2015, little else is known about this creature, except that it is found on the Indonesian island of Sulawesi. We're going to start with Bonnie on this one. This is the pig-nosed rat, with vampire teeth.
Nature.
You say nature. All right.
Yeah.
I know it's fake because I saw Hieronymus Stumpke in The Village, and the whole thing is a put-on. It's like Dolomite. It's a character that he does. It's not real.
So it's just a pig-nosed rat, but he puts in the little vampire.
Yeah,
teeth
exactly.
just
That's the bit.
get it laughed apart.
He says it's the little lie that sells the big lie.
Blah, eh? All right. And Justin, round us home.
And then he said, someday you'll be big like me. You'll play the pit over in New York. I'll make some calls. It'll be great.
God damn it, Hieronymus. You fucked up. I am going to say that the pig-nosed rat with vampire teeth is not sure.
You're not sure that it's real. Okay. The chat room let's see, what is it? 64% of the vote believe that it is also not sure. The correct answer we're looking for is nature. Looking for nature. That's a point.
Man, are they doing that thing? Are they doing that thing where they just have increasingly crazy critters? And the joke is that, no, we're Australia. We're made of crazy critters.
Well,
also, our prime minister is 37 rats wearing a trench coat.
That was Indonesian, though.
That's right. It was only found in Sulawesi. That's right. All right. How about this one? In fact, we're going to start with who we're going to start with. Brian, we'll start with you on this.
Bonnie's in the lead right now.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
She and the chat room have 2 points. Brian and Justin only have 1.
She's the most scientific.
We're going to talk about the goblin shark, a species of deep
Oh,
sea
that's
shark.
the ugliest thing I've
take
ever
a moment for the
seen.
audio listeners to
Please.
just.
Goblin shark.
The goblin shark is definitely one of the background Cenobites from the Hellraiser series.
Yeah.
Possibly what Alec Baldwin was trying to be in Beetlejuice. Okay, all right.
Okay. So this
All
is
right. Hey, Bryce, I hate to give you a note here, but
Okay.
just from here on out, starting with the goblin shark, whenever you're reading the scientific name, can you read it in a higher pitched voice?
like a nerd voice. Is that what you're asking?
Whatever
for?
you want.
Maybe
Just,
a
yeah.
little bit of uptalk at the end, just to make it less scary for us.
I see. A species of deep sea.
No. Wait, hold on. Wait, no. Stop.
Only
stop,
the
wait.
scientific name.
Just the scientific name.
Only say the scientific name.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the nerd.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. A species of deep sea shark and the only living example of the family Mitsukurinidae, a 125 million year old line, a pink skinned animal with elongated, flattened snout and highly protrudable jaws with prominent nail like teeth. This is not something you want to catch during a lazy afternoon fishing.
I'll tell you what, Justin, I'm not going to lie. I backed your play just on principle because that's what a good comedy team does. You were right. I'm glad I backed that play.
Oh, every once in a while, I can smell gold.
Brian,
I
we're
can
gonna start with you.
Yeah,
About
because
the
I can
goblin
you have a
smell it.
nose like a goblin shark. That's
Yeah.
what I said the day we met.
God, I can smell that goblin shark from here. It is frightening.
Can you describe what's going on with, I guess, the upper lip area?
Yeah,
Brian?
dude. You ever see the movie Eyes Wide Shut? Imagine a Poconos Jewish comedian was banging old broads and wearing a crazy long nose mask, and he was mid joke laughing at his own shenanigans, going, also I'm a shark.
There we go. Perfect illustration.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
pretty much nails it. If you got that reference, then just at reply Brian at Schwood on Twitter with Fidelio.
All right, Brian. Goblin Shark, as one of the members of the Weird Things podcast, you and Justin. Might have a little bit of a
we
leg
love
up on
sharks. We love goblins. It's a crime that we've done it for 10 years without having a goblin shark. But it seems like a theme is that all these are horrific and real. So I'm going to say real.
You're going to say it's nature. I say it's nature. Justin, nature? Not sure. The Goblin Shark?
I'm going to ride this one till the wheels fall off. At some point, one of these things are going to have to be fake. And there's no way that we have done this many years of Shark Week without me knowing that a goblin shark exists. This thing looks too bizarre, too weird, too off-putting. I'm going to say not sure.
Not sure that it's real. All right, Bonnie, the goblin shark.
I'm going to say nature.
You say it's nature?
You think I look weird? Should see my mother-in-law. Hey-oh. All right, flip over. I'm going to do anal.
Oh, Jesus, Brian.
You had me, and then you lost me. The chat room. The chat room with 76% of the vote also say it's nature. The answer that we were looking for was nature.
Yeah.
It's real. It's real. It's real. It's real. So that's.
I'll tell you what else is real. You should probably get checked. That was a lot of fun. Hey, we'll trade numbers. Bye.
Oh, okay. So that leaves us with Brian at 2 points, Justin at 1 point, Bonnie at 3, and the chat room at 3. Very good work, everybody, so far.
Next Tuesday, I'm at the Coconut Hole.
Oh, the coconut hole. Oh, goodness. My goodness. Okay.
That's when you get when you ride around with fish hooks.
That's the Coca Butt Hole.
Fish hookers. I don't know. I'm working on that.
All right, let's do another one here. Justin, we'll start with you. This is the red-lipped batfish. This fish might be... This fish might be best thought of as a lady of the night with its bright red lips. It also doesn't swim very well, preferring to walk on the ocean floor using its highly adaptable pectoral fins.
Yeah, I seen his act once. He opened for me in Staruka, Pennsylvania. It was a small venue. I don't know. They had okay crabs.
Speaking of crabs, you should get yourself checked.
Justin, we're starting with you on this one.
All right, I'm going nature. They're all real. Congratulations. This is just Australia showing off that they have the most terrifying creatures on the planet. So I get it. Congratulations, mad scientist. You beat me in the submission. I was trying to actually play the game, but you're showing off. Good for you. I hope you enjoy the all the fun things that happen there with your crazy critters. It's nature. 100%. Lock it in.
Bonnie, what do you think? What do you think about the red-lipped batfish, the lady of the sea, the chicken lady of the sea?
I feel like it's real. So I'm going to say nature.
You say nature. All right. Brian.
1997. We were arguing. Should we call him the labia of the sea or the red-lipped fat fish? Because that dude hit the buffet. No, it's real.
You're also going to say nature. All right. The chat room with about 55% of the vote said it's also nature. The correct answer that we were looking for is nature. Congratulations. Everybody gets a point.
See, they did the tricky thing. That first example was fake. So they made us think that some of them would be fake.
Yeah, no, the rest of this is just an actual educational tour through the wilds of Australia.
Bryce says, all right, next up, C-3PO. He's a golden droid.
All right, come on. Look, I do a little bit of cleaning up on that. That's all right. Our next nature or not sure is midichlorian.
God damn it!
Son of a bitch! God,
what the fuck?
A species of midichlorian. A species of gram-negative bacteria with an ovoid shape around 0.45 mu meters in diameter and 1.2 mu meters width. These bacteria have been seen in the mitochondria of their host in a symbiotic relationship, not seen otherwise in nature.
Justin, what are the odds? This is me conspiring just with you directly. Like of all the things for me to pick, that was the farthest from a creature that I thought could be in Australia. I went with a Star Wars reference, and the next fucking thing is midichlorian.
I mean, Brian, it makes me think that you might have a very high midichlorian count yourself.
No, I just have midichlamidia. It's a different thing.
You should get yourself checked.
That's right. We saw each other up in oh shit! I ran out of upstate New York towns to reference Utica.
That's midichloridia is when you have a social disease, but when you listen real close, it sounds like chiptunes.
That's a very good joke, Justin. that joke tracks. All
I want you to know that both of our audience members who are qualified to get it enjoyed it very much.
Bonnie, we're going to start with you here on midichlorian.
Can you read about it? Or did we get a picture?
No picture for this one.
Oh, okay. Wait, did you read the description?
I did. It's a species of gram-negative bacteria with an ovoid shape.
Ooh, no.
The chat room is very
I'm
divided.
gonna say
over this.
not sure.
You're going to say not sure. You're not sure if it's
not
real.
sure.
Brian, you had a little bit of
So,
skepticism.
look, this is all game theory. Now, here's the thing. If this was Mikey, I would throw all the game theory out of the window because he gets in your head and breaks it. But I do feel like this would be a flex where you would make a, no, that's a Star Wars thing joke. Like, I don't know what gram-negative bacteria is. I'm gonna say that maybe this is the one that breaks the pattern. I'm gonna say it's fake.
You say it's not sure. You're not sure that it's part
Yeah,
of nature.
I'm gonna say Brexit.
Brexit. You're going to vote Brexit? That's remain? Or no, that's leave. All right. Justin, last one. Take us home. Nature or not sure?
Yeah, we get the theme. Metachloria, absolutely 150,000% is an actual thing. It's nature. It's not just some shit that George Lucas made up while being high in Santa Rosa. He is definitely taking it from a real bacteria that is in Australia. Midichlorian, lock it in.
You're going to say nature. All right. The chat room, oh my God, a dead even. It's dead split right now. I'll wait 1 second to see if anybody else gets a vote in. But after 3 minutes of voting, 50-50 say it's, there we go. It's a tie-breaking vote. 51% are saying nature. So we're split here. 2 natures, 2 not sures. And folks, midichlorian is nature.
God damn it! God damn it! I shouldn't have Brexited. Oh, now I know what England feels like. Fuck. It's a terrible idea. Okay, I'm sure I won't do it again and vote for it a second time and then still regret it.
All right, so the current scoreboard is Brian has 3, Justin has 3, Bonnie has 4. The chat room has 5.
Oof.
So
wow.
Keep that in mind as we go into a few more
That
rounds.
fucker didn't even come up with midichlorians.
He did not do that, no.
Oh, that motherfucker.
Yeah. Probably still trying to figure out a way, but there's going to be at least one movie that says something about the Wills, right? And it's like, fucking George, it's been 40, 50 years. You're just going to keep on with that.
I was just trying to think about, I'd been doing a lot of bacterial research, and I was thinking like, what could I do? Why is the Force? What if the Force was just bacteria in Australia? And so I just said midichlorians, and then to be honest, I just left it in the script. I'd kind of forgotten, and then next thing you know, Liam is saying, "Hey, you have a very high midichlorian count," and I'm like, "Fuck, really? Fuck, okay." And then I just left it in because it worked.
Well, it was like I was about to change it, but then I looked and I started counting all the money, and I was like, well, I'm not going to get to the... Oh, it's already out? Okay. Back it in, boys.
I kept thinking, I gotta take it out of the movie, and I'd reach over for my mouse to take it out of the movie, and then a pile of money would be there, and I'd say, "Oh, get out of here, money! I just want to take it out, and then more money, and I just couldn't."
Yeah, I've got a new script that I'm working on. I'm going to try to sell it to my friends over at Disney. It's about a man who is plagued by money, and it just multiplies. It's kind of like The Trouble with Tribbles, only it's called money. They just keep multiplying, and he's plagued.
It's not really a movie. It's just kind of like people just coming over to my house and like hanging out and just, hey, does anybody just want to have like some Cokes and just hang out? No? Nobody?
I just want to try on this voice. I don't really know how you guys are doing it. Am I nailing it?
I mean,
is
it's
this
like
the voice?
you just picture.
Kind of imagine that you're like
It's
in
just
a
Kermit the
library a
Frog,
little
but
bit.
sadder.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just like it's kind of Kermit the Frog, but a little bit more stuttery, less confidence,
I don't know. How about those rainbows? I
Can we do a 4-part George Lucas harmony, and we just repeat metachlorians over and over and over again?
Okay, here we go.
Midichlorian.
money?
There we go. Hey. There we go. All right, let's do another round here. Nature or not sure. This
right.
round, we're talking about Spongiforma squarepantsy,
God damn it!
Oh my god, that's so gross.
a species of fungus found in Malaysia. This was discovered in 2011. It produces sponge-like orange fruit bodies with a fruity odor.
Not only, I ain't even waiting my turn.
It
Not
is your
only would this be keeping in the theme with all of these been real, but I'm almost certain I read a news story about this. I think it's real. Real as rain. Real as George
Nature,
Lucas's money.
It is naturally real. Justin.
Yes. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? This stupid thing.
Oh man, shots fired, Boomer. That's nature.
Wow. All right. File that one in the bank.
All right.
We're going to add that to the scorecard.
Bonnie,
Nature.
you're gonna say it's nature. All right. The chat room also 87% of the votes say it's nature. And the answer that we were looking for this one is nature.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a point.
There was
Honestly, I do. Now I'm actually appreciating the fact that we thought this was a game until we realized that it was actually just a magical exploration of our natural world. The mad scientist has really just misfrizzled us into learning something when we thought we were going on an adventure.
I'll tell you what, now that you're bringing it up, I think you're right. The next BBC great documentary should be Our Dumb Planet with Ryan and Justin. And it's like, it's David Attenborough's ghost, and, or his synthetic voice forever. Which, by the way, we talked about this on Cord Killers. I'm convinced that they have enough samples of David Attenborough's voice long after he's dead. He'll continue to narrate all science documentaries. But then we could just he could tell us the wonders of a thing, and the whole time, it's nothing but you and me shouting, bullshit! This thing's a fucking fraud! Boo! Not real! And he's like, and it's real. And we're like, what? Man! What? Nature's dope!
I like to think that the narration would just be that British text-to-speech voice that does the Peggy 18 thing.
Peggy 18.
Peggy 18.
It would just be like, the gray maned wolf is hungry. He goes with his pack for food. And then we just yell at the screen.
All right, we got 3 more here. We're going to do 3 more here in this game of nature or not sure. We're going to start with Justin on this one. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the elephant fly. This cute little fly is found in the rainforest of the far North Queensland, Australia. The larger proboscis allows this fly to drink nectar from tropical flowers, while the impressive array of antennae resemble elephant ears that are found in the males, which allow it to detect pheromones released by female flies. Justin, we're starting with you on the elephant fly.
I mean, there's no longer a game, Bryce. Like, no.
I mean, I'll tell you what the game is how with a straight face somebody was able to call that a cute little fly, because that thing is horrific.
Oh, Brian's afraid.
I mean, I guess there is the question of that definitely looks like a Photoshop flower in the curled the curled trunk of this elephant fly, which looks like a bumblebee with a fuzzy trunk. But I'm not going to fall for this one, mad scientist. All this shit is real. That is a nature.
Okay.
That those eyelashes definitely look like we're seeing, I don't know, Lady Gaga cosplaying as Snuffleupagus, which makes me. I don't know if we talked about this. Did you hear that Lady Gaga news about her confirming of a quiet theory that I didn't even know was a theory?
No.
Lady Gaga recently, in an interview, said that only one radio station has ever properly censored her song Poker Face, because she definitely, in half of the chorus at the end, is saying, sometimes she's saying poker face, other times she's saying fucker face. And nobody noticed.
Really?
Except for Kiss FM in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, this is fun. because Brian is very scared of promiscuous. What are they called?
Proboscis.
Proboscis.
Lady Gaga. I'm very scared of Lady Gaga.
Yeah, no. Like those butterfly tongue things are
Very weird.
They're just too weird for him. So I don't know. Of course, nature.
Yeah, imagine the kind of hair that's gonna come out of this fucking nose if you
That's what I
shove
was thinking.
I'm scared of three things: proboscis, Lady Gaga, and any creature that has a good memory, because I'm sure they know things that I would like to have be forgotten. So this is my nightmare creature.
But is that your nature or not sure creature?
I'm all in on these are all real. I
Yeah.
mean, first of all, Lady Gaga's real. We've heard the music.
That's a
I watched A Star Is Born, so I know it's real.
All right. The chat room with 53% of the vote says it's not sure. So let's find out about the elephant fly. The elephant fly is not sure.
God damn it!
What? We totally got like
This is a fucking Mikey quiz in disguise.
it's a Mikey quiz.
Recount.
All right. Mad scientist, I thought we were cool, man. I thought I was just here to learn. This was no longer a competition. This was just me taking an educated walk through our natural world of wonder. But you have fucked me for the last time, scientist. From here on out, the gloves are off. Give me the next weird animal.
All right, here's the next weird animal. Here we go. This is the Antechinus geomartini.
It looks like a cute little mouse.
This small mouse-like creature looks cute and innocent, but it hides a dark story. Found in the Australian bush, this creature changes from calm to ferocious in late August. Males fight other males to the death for the right to mate with females. Females are not exempt from these battles, with females also observed fighting off, quote, unworthy males. Regardless of it, the males manage to mate with the female. The incredible stress of the season will cause their immune systems to shut down, and all males will be dead by the end of September. This is the Artechinus geomartini.
I mean, couldn't you have shortened all that to it's definitely a mouse, but imagine a typical Australian mouse fighting and fucking constantly.
Fighting. Although, what if this is what that Earth, Wind, and Fire song is about?
Do you remember Antechinus geomartini?
In September, when all the males will be dead from fighting.
We're going to start with Bonnie on this one. All right, yeah, Bonnie. The Artechinus geomartini.
Yeah. I think they want that. I want to use the C word. You know what? I'm not going to use it.
There you go.
If only we had an Australian.
Hey, mark your bingo cards with Bonnie takes the moral high ground. Just check that one off.
Someone please add that to BioCow's new bingo card machine. Check out
Takes
the
the high
Discord.
ground. This is an inside job.
You know, well, sort of. Nature.
You say nature? Why do you think that?
I think that because they'd be crazy for that, inside job.
Gotcha.
The inside job being their dick.
Inside
the cooter.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right? And Building 7.
Oh, God. Brian, are you going to give me a nature or a not sure?
What is you guy fucking rat that is ornery? I'll allow it.
Wait, are you God?
Yeah. I'm gonna allow this to be a real thing. That's not an abomination in my name.
That's right, God instead of nature. So you're going to say nature?
Yep.
Okay, you're going to say nature. Justin?
Gio Martini. Don't you be a meanie. Yeah, it's nature. Nature.
You're going to say it's nature. The chat room also agrees 68.4% believe that it is nature. The answer we are looking for is not sure.
God damn it.
There is not a race of rats.
The last time that scientist said I was going to be for real. I was lying then. I was testing you to see if there was any friendship we could have left. But you've burnt the final bridge. Now it's for real. I will fucking destroy you and your legacy.
The next one is like a Kangaroocus rudicus. It's a kangaroo that doesn't tip well. Is it real?
doesn't tip well.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
my
it's
goodness.
Rudicus.
Although they don't do tipping in, yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Oh yeah, our resident Australian.
Yeah.
Was like.
All right. So our current score is 4 points for Brian, 4 points for Justin, 6 points for Bonnie, 7 points for the chat room, and we're going into our final round for, let's say, 10 points. So it's still anybody's game.
Right on.
Here, our last one here.
Here we go. So it all comes down to this, mad scientist.
Fortunately,
All right.
we're only going to pay out in the hottest new cryptocurrency, midichlorians.
Yes. We're going to throw a
Miraclomidius.
bottle of Gloria in your face.
All right. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Neopalpa Donald Trumpy.
No.
This moth was found in Southern California and northern Mexico and first described in 2017. The moth was given its distinctive name due to the yellowish-white head scales being reminiscent of Donald Trump's hair. Brian, we're back to you.
I know that scientists do this kind of stuff. There is I believe, a species of lice called something Gary Larsoni, because he did a lot of cartoons about lice or something, or ticks. I don't remember. I'm going to say real.
Say it's really natural in nature. Justin.
I'm going to dust off a little game theory.
Oh, no.
And I'm say, not sure.
Ooh, okay, not to the last minute game theory. Justin Robert Young shows
Look,
up.
I think we played fine. At a certain point, you got to break off, right? This is it, all or nothing. We don't live today, we'll die tomorrow. This is it, all the marbles. Let's go. Here we go.
Now, Bonnie, you have 2 more points than them, so I guess it's time for you to hitch your horse to a wagon.
I'm gonna say not sure.
You're going to say not sure. All right. And the chat realm with 59% of the vote are going to say it is nature.
Oh, man, they just game theoried me. They're going to win.
Very
They are
possibly.
winning. They're totally gonna win.
Well, let's see. The answer of nature or not sure that we were looking for was... nature!
Yeah.
Whoa! Fuck!
Congratulations. Congratulations go to the chat room with 17
Yeah.
points. And in the local league, Brian Brushwood with 14 points is our winner. Woo!
Have we been relegated to the local league? That's what we are now.
Aw.
And on the meat puppet stage, we've got the hardest trying award goes to.
So before we log off here from the game, one more time, thank you so much to Mad Scientist Kel who sent this in. They sent it in to mail@nightattack.tv. That's the email address. Please check it out there or join the Discord, nightattack.tv/Discord. That's where we have a channel for where we're going to set up some more community games coming up in the future. I have an idea. I'd like us to go back to a classic game, but I need to get the guests booked and I need to get all the dates set up, and I want to give everybody a lot of time for it. So keep an eye on nightattack.tv/Discord as well.
Yeah, and sincere thank yous to everybody in the community that puts together these games. I mean, we have a really impressive, hilarious collection of games, and I love that you guys keep coming up with new nonsense engines for us to play with. Can't thank you guys enough.
After we did I said what, or who said what?
I said what? Yeah.
Someone sent us another batch of that like 2 weeks later of guests. So you'll have to guess what the guests
Right
which
on.
Night Attack guests have said stuff. So
All right, this is my new pitch, and this is going to take some effort. So if anybody's out there watching old episodes, I know there's always like 2 or 3 people that are doing the like completionist run of like either watching old episodes that they missed or going back and watching episodes that they never saw. I need y'all to just start pulling time codes, just the Brian metaphors.
Oh no!
We-
You're gonna cry. so
have
maybe
metaphor.
the game is I have to hear the metaphor and then I have to tell you what the fuck I was talking about.
Yeah, exactly. It's number one, it's the only way that we can show you what we're dealing with at all times.
I don't.
You know what this is like, Justin? It's like a simile, not a metaphor, because I said like.
like or as. That's right. One more time, nightattack.tv/Discord, mail@nightattack.tv. And if you're watching live, or if you're not watching live, twitch.tv/nightattack, follow us and hey, turn on the notification bell so you can see when we do all the podcasts, and we're doing a lot of game stuff on the weekends. We're playing marbles. So
Friday Night Bryce still going,
That's
right?
I still contest that is an illegal marketing term, but video
official.
games with Bryce is happening on Fridays. Yes.
Friday Night Bryce. Open hearts, clear Bryce. Can't lose.
Clear your cookies. Open hearts, clear your cookies. Hey, let's do a little bit of diamond time. Just that's not a woman screaming.
Your transition is just too silky smooth today. Diamond Time is where you can shout out your. Actually, in fact, maybe this is the reason why the sounds have been a little slow, Bryce. If you can click through to the Diamond Time. Diamond Time is where you can shout out your projects right here on the show. Just head on over to our Reddit, reddit.com/r/Diamond Club or diamondclub.reddit.com. Top 3 posts get read each and every week. We begin with Real Bad Weave. If you're a fan of classic Doctor Who, then you should be listening to Going Through Who, the Doctor Who podcast on the Samcast Network. Diamond Club's own TSCN Sam takes you through the time and space of Doctor Who, one story at a time. And as a bonus, the episode coming up on Sunday features 100% more Bad Weave than usual. That's right, I did a podcast. Do me a favor and check out Going Through Who, available on all your podcatchers and on the Samcast Network at tscn.tv.
I-40 Hawk writes in saying, my brother and his wife won the North American Wife Carrying Championship last month and qualified for the International Championship in Finland. Unfortunately, they're going to have to pay their own way there, and as a PhD student and a fresh graduate, they can't do it themselves. Show them some Diamond Club love and help a North American team win for the first time ever. YOLO420.com/wifecarry. Is this exactly what it sounds like?
It does seem to be that, yes.
It's just straight up. It's a race, like you're going through basic training, but you're carrying your girl the whole time. This is amazing.
And it's through a deep mud puddle, so you have to keep her up so she doesn't get wet. Obviously.
Yeah, presumably she has to survive the trip, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
What?
Look.
Ooh, she got a face
Oh
full of
my
that
God.
Can we get like? She's carrying
one.
him.
Oh, that's a husband. Ooh. Take that.
Can we spend some money and get them like Diamond Club jerseys or something?
That's what I was going to say. Can we sponsor them?
Yeah, that would be freaking awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think you can at YOLO420.com/wifecarry.
And by the way, I-40 Hawk, get back at us. We are interested in sponsoring this wife carrying team here.
Yeah, and
MJ
fact,
Audio.
Also, if you could get us like the Twitter address of everyone that we need to trash talk in the lead up to the big event, like I want to take this so seriously.
Exactly. We're going to hit them all up and ask them if they're on Team Trees.
Yeah, but before you know it, we're doxing everybody else in the game.
MJ Audio writes, hey, everybody. Earlier this year, I had the opportunity to record and mix an album for a local punk band called Horrible Girl in the Hot Mess. The album is called Do You Know Who Your Friends Are? And we're all proud of it. You can stream it on Spotify if you want to check it out. You can support them, and you can buy it on Bandcamp at bit.ly/hotmessalbum. They just played The Fest in Florida this weekend, and their van broke down on the way, so they could probably use a little cash anyway. They're a really rad band, and I hope you love their music.
This is Making Out with Strangers is the name of the song.
Very cool.
Dude, of course, if you want to shout out your projects, just head on over to diamondclub.reddit.com. Find that big old sticky post right at the top, and make sure it's one of the top 3 most upvoted as we move into a little segment called the Movie Draft Minute.
Welcome to your Movie Draft Minute, presented by CosmicRadio.tv for the week of November 4th, 2019. I'm your host, Roberto Villegas. I'm going to keep the banter short because, honestly, I don't have anything to say. So let's go check those rankings. Jenny Josephson and Brett Roundsville are both tied for 5th place, still waiting for their first film. John Teasdale is in 4th place, $92.6 million. Brian Brushwood is in 3rd place, $116.5 million. Movie League Mike is in 2nd place with Terminator Dark Fate, bringing $31 million, bringing his total to $124 million. And in 1st place, $300.3 million. It's Tom Merritt. And that is your Movie Draft Minute for the week of November 4th, 2019.
So safe to say it's a two-man race between Brett with 85% of the new Star Wars movie and Tom. Tom's got a good slate. He's only had one movie out, and that one's already overperformed his expectations.
Yeah. I don't see a ton of other gigantic money earners. My money would be on Tom, though. Because 85% of Star Wars, those first numbers were looking good, but it also looks like some of the projections I was reading has it below Last Jedi.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Which I don't know whether or not that gets him to where he needs to go. Although maybe, you never know. I mean, Teasdale's got Frozen 2. You never know, what that's going to do. So,
yeah. Are you excited for that Knives Out movie?
Yeah. I mean, speaking of The Last Jedi, I mean, I love Rian Johnson. I mean, the worst Rian Johnson movie is one that I find exceedingly watchable. So,
which is the worst?
I mean, tastes may vary, but Brothers Bloom was not my.
Brothers Bloom
his favorite or his best.
That was in his early days, where it read as like I don't know, kind of a Wes Anderson-y take on Khan movies, or
which was odd because he had already done Brick, and Brick was so tonally different from that it wasn't like it did feel a little like twee in a way that I think, having known him exclusively as the guy who did Brick, which I loved, which was like literal noir, that was like, oh, like, okay, I guess we're doing these twee movies now.
Brothers Bloom was a little bit of like a Guy Ritchie mashed up with Wes Anderson kind of flavor.
Yeah, I mean, but I think you could probably say that Brothers Bloom is the closest in tone to what he wants to do with, or at least in structure rather, not tone, to do with Knives Out, where it is a whodunit. It's like a literal,
a gotcha moment.
Everything's in a house. We're gonna slowly peel back the layers.
Not gonna lie, there was a brief moment that I was like legit terrified that you were gonna say Looper, and then we were gonna have words. But
God, no. Looper's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'll acknowledge Looper's not a perfect movie, but man, do I love everything you did on that.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. Yeah. I'm come at me, bro. I'll fight anybody.
Hey man, you want to just whip it out? Take a look in our mailbag.
Hell yeah.
Join us for drinks in the Diamond Club.
The Diamond Club. That sounds grand.
Super grand. This is the part of the show where we read your emails to mail@nightattack.tv. Thank you to everybody who sends in emails every week. Like this one, we actually got this one a little while ago from Jonathan, but I did not plan this. This was not a diversion. This was a plan to read this one this week. Jonathan writes, I enjoy you cats' goofy nature. I recall a few times Brian talking about gut bacteria, which reminded me of a hypothesis I came up with as I sat baked out of my mind one evening, craving stuff I never ate before. Thought it would be fun to share and let you guys go to town on it for some laughs. The bacteria in our stomach and elsewhere can affect our cravings and diets, etc., and our body is essentially nothing more than a Gundam for bacteria. As people ponder the meaning of life, is it plausible we are nothing more than a bacteria's AI that became self-aware?
Did you say a Gundam for bacteria?
Yeah, you know Gundam?
Yeah, no, I do. I just couldn't. I was like, I hope those are the words that I heard correctly. That's amazing.
That's right. He even capitalized it.
It's funny you should mention this because I'm only halfway through the latest Sam Harris podcast, and he has Richard Dawkins on, and they're wondering if there's any evolutionary benefit to consciousness, and maybe we just evolved consciousness whoopsie doodle by accident, and that would fit. Like what if your toaster became self-aware? And he's like, man, I just fucking love making toast. And it's just like, hey, you're not supposed to be conscious. He's like, yeah, but I get to keep making toast, right? He's like, yep. He's like, fucking awesome. I'd be cool with that. I don't know.
I mean, that would basically just bring us back to like the Flintstones world where there's dinosaurs and everything that are just like, it's a living. More toast, I guess.
Except
the dragon breathes fire on your bread.
Except that would make us the animals in that situation, I think, is what Jonathan is.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think, there's no reason to not think that. I think there's just as much evidence to say, whoever's really guiding us. I guess the line between our rational thoughts can be overridden and often are by animal instincts, and our animal instincts are the actual only thing that are really providing the motivations for our lives. Everything else is just our brain doing loop-de-loops because it's bored. That seems fine to me. I'm super down with that.
All right. Which one would you buy stock in? Poop transplants or young people blood transfusion?
So poop transplants being the idea that you are getting other people's bacteria so you can correct the mixture of your bacteria.
Correct, which is an emerging, still in the early days of figuring it out. Also in the early days of young people's blood seems to be different than old people's blood. We hear stories of billionaires who are just straight up buying young people's blood and having it pumped in.
Is there science to that? Or because at least with the fecal transplants, we do know that does help people. That's something, that's a treatment that your doctor can ask you to do.
Yeah, I believe the best we can say for sure from what little I've read on the blood thing is that it is a definite fact that blood holds more oxygen better, or like the young red blood cells behave better. They perform better than old people's blood cells. And so it seems like you would.
Now, was that Dr. Acula who wrote that study?
BioCow in the chat just said, "Okay, blooder."
Justin, where do you land on this? Poop or blood?
What would I buy stock in? I would buy stock in the tech around poop.
Yeah.
I would go poop. I would go poop over blood. Not because I have any sense that the science would be better, but I guess I can see the poop transplant thing being like a ancestry.com kit that, you smear poop in a tube, and then next thing you know, they're sending you back the exact pills with other people's poop that you need to, or synthesized versions of that you need to apply, right? Whereas I don't know if there's going to be the same market for, like, I don't know, but young people are always going to need money, and rich old people are always going to want to be younger. I'm flipping it. I'm going blood.
You're going to go blood.
I think that the benefits to poop transplants are going to be super outsized for such a simple trick to move stuff around. In fact, on maybe I'm half remembering this incorrectly, but did I hear right? Like on Penn Sunday School, they were speculating that, as Penn becomes more chill and hippie, that they were speculating that it was tied to the foods he's eating that cause him to act in more stereotypically vegan-esque ways.
Because his diet has changed so much?
Yeah, exactly. In which case,
whoa. Did you just spill?
We just had the first inaugural spill in the new studio. I was trying to be very cool about it. And looking back on it,
God, wait, did it spill really?
I don't know why I decided it should balance on a piece of tape.
On a painter's tape. It's not even sturdy paint. It's not even sturdy tape. It's
For the record, to Chris in the new studio, Brian got a gift of a gigantic tankard. Something that would be so hard to accidentally knock off because it has heft and weight.
And there was definitely a note attached that said, "No spills in the new studio," which is why the tankard has a sippy cup top to it that I, of course, left open.
And you put the tankard on top of a roll of painter's tape as if it were a coaster.
Remember the 5th of November. IPA's falling in splot.
Oh, no. All right. Well, there we go. Mark it on the Wikipedia.
Unbelievable.
I'm buying stock in poop transplants.
You're saying poop. Look, I think poop is probably the better, probably the better science, probably the more widely accepted. However, the blood thing offers the rarest gift, which is to, like, never die. Anything that can offer to stave off death will always be the one that costs the most.
Yeah, I feel like the blood thing will never go away. It's going to be the homeopathy of crazy medical treatments.
Yeah, because someone's going to be like, cause I'll bet you there are people right now, there are billionaires right now that are like, well, I know the science isn't there, but just in case. Like, I don't want to
Yeah,
be
like,
I love it. I love it. It makes me feel good.
Yeah,
Uh,
I like knowing it. You know, even if there's no science behind it, I like just knowing that I'm filled with the misery of poor people. It's delightful. It really is. I
they
mean, I
do
highly
say
recommend
that.
it.
The thing is, they probably really do say
At the end of the day, you'll know that you're coming from blood oxygenated by the poor. There's really nothing better.
Indeed. Clink, 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 clink.
We got one more email here. This is from Matt. Matt writes, "Hey guys, we are about 2 months away from the end of another decade. This will be my fourth one to experience, and I'm really excited for it because we're living in the future. There are things that define the decades when we looked at them in the rearview mirror, like the hippies and free love of the 60s, disco in the 70s, the electronic age of the 80s. What do you think will define this decade? Plus, this is the time of the year that all those articles come out, and sometimes they can help you remember what the hell happened this decade. Problem is that they can be really long to read, and this is 2019. If you could sum up the decade in a meme, what meme would it be?" From future Big Diz attendee Matt from Central Florida.
Man, I was afraid. I think I mentioned it fairly recently, but there was a tweet I made where I made a bold proclamation, and I was afraid I was going to be wrong. Now I'm feeling like I'm totally right. Freaking, they're going to remember like, yeah, the teens, dubstep. Am I right? That's what we're going to be remembered for. It was 1970s all over again, man.
Yeah, I mean, dubstep never. Here's the problem: is that this was the first decade that we lived an entire decade without a monoculture. Like, we had the remnants of the monoculture in the aughts, but now it's like we went a full decade where nobody was really watching the same shit. Everybody was only talking to their own tribes. There was like such little water cooler kind of stuff. I guess if there's the one thing that really lasted pretty much the entire decade that everybody knows, it's like Game of Thrones, maybe? Like something.
To be honest, I feel like when we
More than
think of
Breaking
this
Bad?
whole generation, it's going to be, if more seriously, it's going to be the anxiety of social media. Social media, here's my prediction. Social media 10 years from now will be seen. We will think of this decade the way we think of 1960s people denying that there's anything wrong with smoking cigarettes. Social media is just cigarette smoke, and that's what there's going to be all kinds of studies that show that we become profoundly isolated, and we're going to think it's crazy that we were doing this for a whole decade because, number one, what'll happen is there'll be user interfaces. By the way, audio listeners, I'm hunched over my phone right now. There'll be visual interfaces with AR that allow us to act more pleasantly extroverted while still receiving the same amount of data flow that we like. So as a result, we're going to be a little more dialed in to the people around us than we have been in this decade. I think we'll remember this as a profoundly isolated, anxiety-filled decade, ultimately without cause, because this decade we've had the least amount of war ever, and but we have had the most amount of anxiety. So that's what I think.
So what decade would you compare it to? Is there another decade that you would also say that in hindsight we looked back and we were like, oh my God, we were so anxious and weird?
I think the 80s, and that makes sense if you believe in kind of a pendulum theory or whatever. The 80s was the cocaine-fueled days of the yuppie trying to
but like
outperform.
when we think about the 80s, it's like the Goldbergs or whatever. It's like big, it's tight pant or like, stretchy pants and big hair and shoulder pads and Dallas and shit like that. I mean, yes, we do remember the me generation, but unless you're doing something that's like very cynical, if you're just like, all right, open on a scene in the 80s, it's more likely that it's like Hulk Hogan and Ronald Reagan than the Cold War, if that makes sense. Even though that was the end of the Cold War was still a thing.
I'm not entirely sure I follow your thread.
I guess
what
my
decade would you
thing is-
answer?
I don't know. If I were to say anxiety, then that would probably be more the 50s when we were at the very beginning of like, oh no, wait, like we might 5 years away from like communism taking over
everything. Yeah. I guess that also does kind of track with the pendulum theory, right? 50s and then the 80s. 50s was a lot of fear about nothing in the terms of the Red Scare and the space race, the beginning of the space race and so on. The 80s was a lot of scare about nothing, about nuclear winter and Cold War. And now we're doing the same thing. One might say with apocalyptic predictions of climate change and general social anxiety. So I don't know. I think we're probably getting more chill.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's certainly, I think, well, yeah, the aughts have nothing on either the idea of like the domino theory of communism, like just fundamentally changing the world, or the idea that with the press of buttons, we could all just be eliminated tomorrow, right? But I don't know. I mean, I do think that social media is going to be the story. Like, that is going to be the thing. I mean, it's iPhone comes out in 2007, right? Like, so the idea of this decade, this is the decade of the smartphone. In fact, that's it. The only, you want to know what meme I would have represent the entire aughts? The fucking a bubble with the 3 dots.
And the anxiety that comes along with, like, what are they going to say? What are they going to say?
Just waiting for the bubble with the 3 dots. That's the meme that I would say describes all the 10s.
I 100% agree with that.
I think it's the SpongeBob hunched over and you do the alternating capital letters to like mock somebody. I think it's gonna be that one.
That's late. Although, if you want to go with a SpongeBob meme on the way out, you can do the I'm a head out.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a real solid one. I think even the woman yelling at Cat, the Real House. I think there's a lot in the Real Housewives yells at Cat meme that mixes a lot of things. But
I swear to
God, appropriating from big corporations, appropriating from people online posting about their cat. The deeper lore about the fact that the cat always looks at food like that. The deeper lore that Taylor Armstrong lost her husband and she's very, very angry.
Bryce, as we've discussed before, you have this platform. You're allowed to say whatever you want. We have one rule: you must disclose that you are a stakeholder in this meme and that you are going to derive personal enrichment when it takes off. Have you seen that? There's that subreddit where you could buy and sell memes at various times.
Meme economy, I think maybe? Okay, yeah. I mean, yes, I probably do have some stock in the Kyle Richards Associated Memes Fund. Yeah.
I actually saw a Watchmen version of that one today where it's from the comic, Rorschach like scream crying and Night Owl like holding him back, and then this other one was just the Dr. Manhattan as the cat just kind of like looking back at him.
That's amazing.
In fact, if you have an idea of what you think the tens meme of the decade will be, why don't you email it in mail @nightattack.tv. Actually, Matthew said, I think the guy looking back at the girl is good for this decade because of all the nostalgia and remakes going on right now.
That actually might be the king. I don't know if there's anyone that got bigger than that, like meme wise.
Unless we'd have to go back into the earlier part of the decade, but I think certainly the past few years that was a very big one. Yeah. All right, well, thank you again, Matthew, for that one, and thank you to everyone who submits mail. And when you send us mail, we will read it at the end of the show, which is what this is. Bye.
Holy cow, did we just do a whole show? I just blinked and that all went past. That was so much fun.
You know, here's another thing. Is like, when did Twitter launch?
2008 or 9? 2008, yeah.
March 2006.
2006, okay. Like, we went from hashtags at the end of the last decade being like, oh, look at these. It was like a nerdy thing. It was like, it was like an IRC trend that was like, that's where I can keep track of all my conversations by keeping track of my hashtags. And now they're like Fortune 500 companies rise and fall on the mighty information gathering that a hashtag has provided. Like that I think is another gigantic element across all social media. Like, hashtags are the thing.
Yeah, I'm not good at using those.
Decade.
Hey, man, what did we learn this week, Justin?
Brian, we learned that one day I will have the prophecy fulfilled and actually play the pit.
We learned that women become very shocked when their Thanksgiving pies are stolen.
Stop. No. No. Scott, damn it. Brian learned that all these animals are real.
Yeah, except for the one that wasn't. Yeah. We learned that it's blood before poop. Let's form a group. That's their slogan.
Finally, we learned flip over. He's gonna do anal.
We love you guys. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Line of fire. Oh, Pit Boss Kelly 138. You are the only fan that matters.
Yeah.
Night attack, night attack, night attack, night attack, night attack, night attack. I love you.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.